Hello everyone, welcome back to Victoria 3. So a lot of you were telling me that you were having trouble forming Germany after the 1.2 patch. So here I am to help you form Germany. We're going to be doing it from Austria, but this process will also work with Prussia. Alright, super quick, before we actually get into the video today, I wanted to let you know that 88% of my viewers are currently not subscribed. So if you wanted to hit the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, on to the video. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, you already know we need nationalism, so research. Research is going nationalism, and then we're gonna need to get central banking after that. So go ahead and queue both of those up. Level 5 taxation, second tier building construction materials, government wages, and military wages going up, and then a taxation on services. Building wise, we are going to queue in this order 3 construction sectors, 13 universities, and then 10 naval bases apiece in each of these states. So that's Croatia, Istria, and Venetia. And before we unpause, we're also going to begin improving relations with Russia, Bavaria, France, Great Britain, and then we're going to damage relations with Saxe-Meiningen. This step may or may not actually work because the game seems to be a little bit inconsistent with it, but we're going to go with it for now. So, unpause, and then we're going to wait for nationalism to research. Duh, I also forgot road maintenance in Austria where you're building all that stuff, so you build a little bit faster. Also in these 3 spaces, so you can get those other boats built faster. And then you can also do promote social mobility or whatever other decree you want to do. This is how I'm going to set all mine up. So we now have nationalism, which means that we can come over to the cultures tab and we can look to launch a leadership play. Now, see, Great Britain will side with the enemy. Prussia, did you do some nonsense? Oh well, not concerned about it. Germany, we're going to launch a unification play. Boom. Alright, we're going to see... Okay, they will help us. We'd like to get France or Russia. That would be ideal, but it doesn't look like they are going to join up with us. Great Britain, what do you want? You want offer obligation? You can have an obligation. No great power has ever gotten involved against me except for Britain, so we should be alright here. I'm going to go ahead and mobilize my guys. They're going to go defensive on this border. The 60 and the 70 are both going to go defensive there, and then I'm going to grab this 10 dude. He's going to go defensive on this border. Our plan is we are going to naval invade all the way around their back into Pomerania right here, and then we're going to rush for the capital, get all the war support we need to win the war, and then we're going to enforce our demands. That is the game plan. So, army designated strategic objective is going to Berlin. Right, war is on. So, politics tab. We're going to reform our government again and put the military dudes in charge, and we're going to make sure that they are loyal. If they're not loyal, pass a law that will make them loyal. But it looks like they are already loyal, so I'm not going to do that. I just want the extra 15% offense and defense. And grab your navy dude, Franz von Bandiera. Naval invasion, Pomerania with the 27 dude. Alright, Great Britain's pushing. This is good. This is what I wanted. I want them to be too busy fighting me in order to deal with my secret naval invasion from behind. Alright, naval invasion is fighting the Navy. This is a good start. And we have landed uncontested. Hopefully we get another push. Looks like we did not, but we have 52 offense versus a 34 defense because I believe this general is actually really good. Yeah, expert offensive planner. I don't know if he's always like that, but in this case he is, so we just need to get a few hits in and we should be good. If need be, we can launch another naval invasion, just do it again on another spot until they don't have enough troops to defend everything all at once. They may end up having to pull a bunch of troops back on this front. Dang, they're still only running... Ooh. Let's go, Britain. British moment. Get him. Oh, we have an experienced artillery commander. You're going to go on the offense, sir. We got to get to Brandenburg. All right, Britain's going to absolutely toast them. We're going to defend against them. They're going to take more casualties. Aha, we're in Berlin. This is nice. We got 100% of our war goals, so they're going to start dropping into the negatives. Hopefully we can hold on to it. All right, they're in the negatives. How much do they need to be willing to accept? They'll just already accept. All right, proposed peace deal. All right, we have German leadership now, so I'm going to come over to cultures. I want to launch a unification play. Now the problem is the game is a little bit weird sometimes. Okay, looks like it's all sorted alphabetically this time. So, my old plan of pissing off Saxe-Meiningen is going to backfire on me. So we want to launch a unification play next. I'd prefer to launch it against not Bavaria, because Bavaria is like my buddy, maybe against like Bremen or something. So the way this is going to work, 90% of the time, all of these countries are just going to bail out of the conflict, and you're only going to have to fight the very top one here, because it gets sorted that that way, and I guess somebody's got to be left in the conflict. I would rather not fight Bavaria, but I also don't want to waste time because I would like to unify Germany before Prussia can connect its market, so we're just gonna go for it. So we're gonna confirm, and I'm be willing to bet as soon as I pause this, most of these guys bail out of the conflict. What did I tell you? Now, we are unfortunately gonna have quite a bit of infamy now, and I also have to click through all of this. So that's a little bit sad. We're infamous, though. We're not notorious, which is good, which means that no one should get involved, and even if they did, they wouldn't really be able to get to Bavaria because Prussia took that land from Bavaria over here, which means that France can't get involved and send troops, which they probably couldn't even have done anyway. The unification play usually sorts alphabetically, but sometimes it doesn't. I've had it to where Saxe-Meiningen is the leader. I've had it where Waldeck is the leader. I've had it where Nassau is the leader. And the problem with those guys being the leader is that you can't actually get to them. So if you want to launch a unification play, it's got to be against someone that you can actually get to. So you want to make sure you check before launching this play to make sure you can actually get to the person you're wanting to attack. Since it's Bavaria, in my case, I can get to them. I have a giant-ass border with them, and I'm going to send my artillery commander in to annihilate them, even though I actually do like Bavaria. Weird how this game works sometimes. They become, you know, they're like, oh no, we're cautious of you. You might invade me, and because you think I'm going to invade you, that's why I'm invading you. All right, to war against Bavaria. All right, Bavaria is going to get clapped, and we are going to unify Germany. It's going to all be fantastic. So they're going to start dipping way down. Ottoman crisis, don't really care. Either option is fine. Now, at this point, I think there's a lot of people who probably don't like me. Actually, it looks like Russia and France still do kind of like me. Cool. All right, Bavaria has given up, and we are now way bigger Austria. This is step number 2 finished. I'm going to go ahead and start incorporating all these states. And now we're going to do something a little bit funny, because if you come over to the Cultures tab, because we are the only unification candidate, Prussia can voluntarily join us, but they're not going to because they absolutely hate our guts. Antagonistic and cold. We'll take a look at them and see why they're antagonistic towards us, and there's a whole list of things. Infamy, militarily threatening neighbor, rivalry, natural enemy, and cold relations. We're not going to get rid of all of those. Instead, what we're going to do is become a different country. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Come over to the Politics tab. We're going to reform our government. We're going to take the armed forces out of the government and put the industrialists in. We're going to have enough legitimacy to pass laws still, so what we're going to do is come over to autocracy here, distribution of power, and we're going to go for census suffrage. This is going to piss the aristocracy off immensely, which is what we want to do. So do that. That law is happening, and reform the government and kick them out of the government. Boop. Now they hate us astronomically, and we also have central banking now, which is nice, but we don't need it yet. So we're just going to hold on to that for the moment, and we're going to research something else, but we're probably not going to finish whatever this research is, so pick something that's not important, I guess. Okay, because we pissed off the landowners, they're now going to overthrow the government. Normally this is a bad thing, but this is actually exactly what we want. We're going to wait for this revolution to kick off, and then we're going to do some funny business. Okay, so revolution has happened. We are now in a civil war. So what we're going to do, we're going to get all of our troops. We're going to get them all under a general. It doesn't matter which one, just get them under a general. And we're going to mobilize every single general, and we're going to send them as far away from the front as possible. The furthest front that you have, send all your troops there. For me, that's going to be this down here in Croatia, so we're going to send everybody to that front. And they're just going to chill. We are good. So that is everyone down there. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna wait for this to progress through, and we're just gonna sit and wait. Do not call anybody to this conflict. We're going to wait until this hits 99 and then pause. If you don't think you can pause it at 99, you can pause it at 98 or 97 or 96. Get as close as you can without actually doing it, okay? I'm going to get it all the way down to 99. Pause, 96, 97, 98, 99. What we're gonna do right now, there's a few things we gotta do. Buildings, development. Change all of your barracks to infantry focus and irregular infantry. The reason we waited till 99 to do this is because they will get a penalty towards changing out supplies, which means that they're going to be even weaker than just normal or regular infantry. After we do that, we are going to switch sides in this war. Boom. We are now the Austrian aristocratic revolt, and what we are going to do is we're not going to change anything about our barracks whatsoever. If we do, we're going to get that same penalty. Instead, military lens army designate strategic objective to their capital. That is all that we need to do. We're going to unpause the game, and we're going to go and blitz them. Hopefully we were able to launch an attack before they get anyone there. Looks like we were able to, so we got a little bit lucky. Usually you'll have to fight, but they are incredibly weak right now, so it's not even a problem. We'll take a look and see at the battle. 39 versus 21. Their defense is 18. My offense is 14, but we got more troops, so we are going to win this battle. Now, all we got to do is hold on to their capital, and we will eventually win. Now, do keep in mind, you don't want to kill anybody too bad, because you're going to be inheriting these troops later, so you're just killing your own soldiers at this point. They're -2. They do have to go all the way to -100, so we're just going to chill and wait till that happens. Our war is solid. We are losing quite a bit of money, but this is going to get fixed once the revolution is done, once we're reincorporated by everything. So just let it unpause and keep going. Boom. All right, annex Austria. So now we are back to being Austria again. We're going to need to come back over and change all of our building slots now. So barracks, mobile artillery, line infantry, and all the other stuff that you want to set. Okay, after setting everything the way you want it to go, you're going to have to come over to your construction, and you're going to see that the AI has queued a buttload of government administration buildings. Get rid of all these. You do not need them at all. We're going to X out all of them. Make sure all your construction sectors are set to iron frame buildings, and then come down to your technology tab. Now, switching sides in a civil war breaks this game. The game is no longer going to tell you when you need to start a new research, so you're going to have to rely heavily on the queue system. So go ahead and start queuing anything you want in the order you want it. Make sure you check back regularly. So I'm going to go ahead and add field works, add general staff, add triage. So now that all that's done, the last thing for us to do is to check our diplomatic relations with Prussia. As you see, they are now weary of us. They do still view us as a natural enemy, so this kind of sucks. We may need to re-roll again. Essentially what happens every time you have a civil war, your relations with every country changes. And if you have a bad roll with anything in particular, you can just reset it. So, the majority of the time, that natural enemy modifier will be gone by the time that you do an aristocratic revolt. If it doesn't go away, you can do this a second time to get it going again. Now, we could just choose to go to war with Prussia, so launch a unification play, but I don't like to do that as it causes a lot of infamy. Now, you're gonna see that the launch unification play button is grayed out. However, if you did the first steps fast enough, Prussia will actually fall to a major power. You can see that their prestige is 229 over 243. Why did this happen? This section right here belongs to us, which means that Prussia is disconnected from its own market. This whole area is a big economic area for Prussia. If we click on the information, you can see that their GDP tanked when we did this move. So that is going to keep them from being a great power. They're going to fall to a major power, and at that point, you will be able to launch a unification play. That is an option for you if you would like to do so, but that is a little bit harder than just resetting your government through civil war until you actually get the relations you want. Now, another thing that you could do, begin improve relations with them and start bankrolling them, is if we do manage to get an obligation over Prussia, we can force them to come to war with us on our side and then annex them that way. That will bypass the view used as a natural enemy modifier, though they do have a rivalry with us, which is kind of stupid now. Now, you can't just do another civil war immediately. You are going to have to wait for some of your marginalized interest groups to come back. This will take a little bit. Looks like the AI is already at work doing that, so I'm going to actually cut out some of the ones that they picked because I don't like their picks. I'm going to make my own picks. So it looks like I actually did manage to get an obligation from Prussia, which means I can force them to join me in the future. What I will do in the future is I will go to war with some random country that's not going to cause any infamy, and then I will use my obligation to force Prussia to come to the war with me, and before the war starts, we will try and unite the country. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about in a minute, but it's going to take me just a second to get to a point where I can do that, so hold with me for a second. Just checking in before we get to the part that I'm trying to show you, but you can see that Prussia has dropped to a major power. They have 204, which is about 76 less than what they need to be a great power. If you wanted to, you can come back over to the Cultures tab. You can see Launch Unification Play is now an option. This is one of your options to unite Germany. Again, your second option is to go through another civil war until Prussia actually likes you, and then they will voluntarily join you. And the third option is to get an obligation over them and force them into a war with you. The third option is what I'm going to be showing you today, but if you have questions about the second or first, feel free to ask them in the comment section and I'll try and get back to you on that. Well, this is nice. Looks like I got generous donations so I can improve my relations with Prussia by 30. I'm going to take it. Okay, so we just hit friendly with Prussia. If we take a look at their relations, they are now cautious of us, but they are friendly. If we come over to the Cultures tab and look now at their support levels, it is 15. This is because they still have that cautious modifier. If they did not have cautious and had something else like genial, we would be able to unite with them. So what we're gonna do to force this to happen, we'll check back and make sure we still have our obligation. It's right here. We are going to look for a low infamy war that we could get Prussia to join. So let me take a look and see if there's any places that I could go. I could open market in Netherlands for no infamy whatsoever, and looks like Prussia is also there. We could do the same thing for Switzerland, but Prussia is not involved here. What about Serbia? No, they're not. Italy? They are here. I think I'm just going to do Netherlands though, because Prussia already has a border with them, so they may already be willing to join. So, open market of the Netherlands. Confirm that, and we're going to take a look at this war tab, and we're going to unpause it for just a second until it gets to the point where people can join us. Alright, pause right here. Sway countries, Prussia is willing to accept. Because we have an obligation, we can call in the obligation. And if we come back over to the diplomacy screen, you can see that they will become genial towards us because we are on the same side as a conflict, which is plus 1,000. This means that Prussia really likes us now, and because of that, they support us as the unification candidate, which means we can form Germany, and we don't even have to go through with the war if we don't want to. We can back down and just pay war reparations, which, I mean, it would be a little expensive, but I'm not too worried about that. I may just white piece this or just win real quick. But in the meantime, what we need to do is incorporate the states that we just took. So the last few states, we're going to incorporate all of them, and we're going to reset production methods all to the same thing. Then we're going to come back over here, make sure we got everything the way that we want it. Yeah, I don't really care about opening the market. But yeah, there you go. That is how you form Super Germany after the 1.2 patch. We did it in roughly 10 years. It was a little bit more, but we could have done it sooner if Prussia hadn't required us to take an obligation to get them to peacefully accept. But anyway, that is how you form Germany. Again, if you don't get that obligation, you can always do another civil war until they are no longer viewing you as a natural enemy, and you can do it that way. Or if you want to, you can just attack them again because they'll drop to major power status. But that is how you form Germany in 1.2. Anyway, that is going to conclude today's video. Hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, be sure to leave a like because I greatly appreciate that. And if you want to see more Victoria 3 content in the future, be sure to subscribe and make sure you're notified whenever I release a new video. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.